Hi, my name's Alex, and today I want to start off by asking you a question. Do you know what the difference between trust versus mistrust is? Some of you may say that sounds familiar. Well, if you've ever taken a psychology class or you know who Erik Erikson is, it's definitely familiar. Trust versus mistrust is the first stage in a human's life. This is where a baby learns who's going to be able to take care of them and if they can trust to be taken care of. This is where they look for someone to be able to feed them, someone to make sure that their diaper's changed. Well, this first stage of life can last all the way from the newborn age up to 18 months old. During this time, it's vitally important that the caregiver gives them all of the attention that they need to be able to strive. Erik Erikson argues that this is the most important stage of a human's life. I got all of this information from simplypsychology.org. You may be asking, well, what happens if they don't get this? Well, this can lead them down to a road later on in life where they may just not trust anyone. They may not trust that they are able to learn. They may not trust that they can do what's expected of them. And when I say this, I mean, this can lead to anything: depression, anxiety. It can lead to many issues. During this first stage of life, that caregiver, like I said, who's vitally important, normally that's going to be either the mother or the father of the child. It doesn't necessarily have to be them, but what I'm here today to say is that it's very important for that caretaker to have the ample amount of time off of work to be able to take care of them. And when I say off of work, I mean paid time off of work. You may have heard of maternity leave or paternity leave. Those are the two different types of leaves for a mother, maternity, or a father, paternity. During those times, they're able to take care of the baby. Or, they're like the mother, able to recover from having the baby. Well, there are a lot of places that don't offer this. Now, I'm going to show you a graph about different places in the world. These places, all here, anything in red, represents where mothers and fathers don't have the option for maternity or paternity leave. Yes, that's correct. The United States of America, there's no law against not giving maternity or paternity leave. There's nothing. There's no entitlement. There's nothing. And to me, I find that crazy because I would say, as one of the top earning countries, we should be able to do that for our people. Well, personally, the work that I have now offers that. I get up to 4 months, 80% paid leave. And if you're a man and you work at my job, you get up to 6 weeks paid leave to take care of your newborn child. Other jobs, like my first job I had, I didn't get that luxury. I did get 6 weeks of leave, but I wasn't paid. What I had to do to be able to earn my money during that time, I saved up 2 weeks worth of paid time off, and then the other 4 weeks I had to save while I was pregnant to be able to take that time off. And when I say save, I meant I saved for the bare minimum of what I could to be able to get my son food. If he wasn't going to be breastfed, I had to be able to afford formula. I had to be able to get him diapers and wipes and everything that a baby needs. But some women don't have that luxury to be able to save. Some men don't have the luxury to be able to take off work and help their wives. You may be asking, well, if you plan on having a child, shouldn't you have prepared for this? Yes, I understand that point. But there's also times where that's not an option. Sometimes a baby comes early. Sometimes there's complications during a birth. Sometimes the woman has to have a C-section. If you've ever been in contact with someone who's had one of these, say your mother or your sister or your wife, well, those types of things aren't easy to recover from. Particularly one case that I have in mind is if you had a child that was born early and then had to stay in the NICU and you had a C-section. You have a minimum of 6 weeks to be able to prepare for that. You have to take that 6 weeks off to make sure that your body goes back to normal. You're not there to take care of your child only. you have to take care of yourself as well. What happens when that 6 weeks over? You may not have had enough time to bond with your child or take the care that your child needs as a newborn. And then you have to take your child to a daycare. Luckily for me, I was lucky enough to have my son go to my sister's house. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. It's a scary thought to think of taking my newborn child to someone I don't know. Yes, you can do all the interviewing possible. You can say you know this person, but are they going to give your child the care that they need to build trust versus mistrust? Well, I hope that in the future you think about that. And what I want you to think about as well is if you're taking a survey for your work and they ask you, how is the maternity care? Or if someone says, if there's one thing you could change about your job, what would it be? Even if you don't ever plan on having kids. If you know someone who has kids or plans on having kids who you work with, one simple thing you gotta say is, I think we should look into a better system for a maternity and paternity leave. I think women and men should have the opportunity to be paid so that they can take care of their child. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's not going to negatively affect you. It's just a suggestion, right? Well, it may not affect you, but you may have changed the life for that new mom who just had a baby, who's able to take 6 weeks completely paid off, or could be like me. We said it enough times that now we get 4 months, 80% pay to be with our child. Well, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.